when I'm looking to hire somebody, I go, kindness.
Yeah.
And then like requirements. It's kindness.
Kindness.
And then some technical knowledge.
Yeah.
And then some personal and some professional experience. But it's kindness.
Kindness.
We need love. To me, detox reminds me a lot of hospice.
Yeah.
Right? When people are in hospice, people are scared. They don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do.
They're like, it's the same with detox. When you're just at your fucking breaking point, on your deathbed.
You're not on a winning streak when you're in detox.
Right.
This is not
worst.
the lowest point of your life.
And that's when you need the love the most.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I personally like to treat everybody like they're a fucking rock star, somebody very special, and you just don't know it yet because we all are.
Yes.
And unless you can see that in somebody, you don't allow them to be that.
Kindness isn't just a virtue, it's a lifeline. And nowhere is that more true than in the raw, unfiltered journey of recovery. This is Beyond the Window, the podcast where we get real about addiction, healing, and the messy, beautiful work of staying alive. Today, Director of Detox Gwendolyn Casella sits down with Ventana alumni Laurie Sigelman for a deep conversation on relapse, jailhouse redemption, and why recovery isn't about perfection, it's about showing up. Stick around.
We're here with another edition of Beyond the Window. When I'm here, we get raw and fucking uncut. 0 F's given, right? We get real, we get
That's
butt
what
naked.
I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
And I'm really happy to be here today with you, Laurie. Me and Laurie have a lot of history.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I love you.
I love you too.
I respect the hell out of you.
I respect the hell out of you.
I'd like to start by just saying, when I was in treatment in, I want to say 1997, you were a PC card holder.
Yeah, I was.
And you used to come into I'm going to cry already. You used to come into the treatment center where I was a client, and you'd come in and you'd pick up women.
Yes, I did.
And you'd take them out to meetings.
Yep.
I got the chills.
The only problem was that I was doing a whole lot of that stuff and a whole lot of not working on myself. But it doesn't negate that.
No.
It doesn't take anything away from that. And for me, what this whole thing is? It's fucking love and service. Love and service.
Yes. But we also have to love ourselves.
We have to love ourselves.
And be of service to ourselves,
Yeah.
right? I'm listening. I'm taking notes.
Yeah,
I'm taking notes.
If I don't have the game, if I'm not armed with that game, then I can't give it to anybody else, but I can still take somebody to a meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember that when I was brand new and I didn't know what the hell this was all about. And you would come in, just your beautiful self, and you'd come in and you'd pick 3 women up at a time. You'd go out to a meeting, you'd buy them dinner or coffee or whatever
Take
that
them
was.
out on those credit cards.
Oh,
I know. That was a little later on, but yeah.
That's amazing. So that's where I met you 28 plus years ago.
Yep.
And so we're here today to talk about all kinds of things.
Yes.
You are currently in recovery.
I'm in recovery.
How much time did you just celebrate?
I just celebrated 11 motherfucking years.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
5/21/14, coming out of La Ventana.
Wow.
And out of detox here.
Wow.
And I had very little hope when I walked into that detox because I had time before, and then I stayed out for a year talking clean and living dirty and waking up every morning and living that lie. And I thought, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna taper. And there's no tapering with opioids. Not for me. I don't have it in me. You'll have to lock me up. If I was locked up, then I'm gonna kick. And
that was the only way I ever detoxed was with a pair of handcuffs.
With a pair of handcuffs.
So my hat off to you. You walked in the doors one more fucking time.
Yeah, because my back was up against a wall, and sometimes there's claw marks of me trying to hold on to stuff, Gwen. And I got caught, and this is a great story. So I'm at a meeting. I'm going to a meeting with an old friend of mine, and we're going to coffee before the meeting, and I get a phone call from my husband. And he said, Laurie, where are my Ferragamo shoes? And I said, I don't know where your fucking Ferragamo shoes are. He hates this story, by the way. He hates it. And he said, I'm going to ask you one more time. And what I had done is I was trying to sell his shoes on eBay. I left the computer open, and I had all these pairs of his shoes that he had bought at thrift stores and stuff, but they still were worth money because I'm running pills. I've got here a doctor, there a doctor, everywhere a doctor. And I said, he said, I looked at my girlfriend, I said, I got to go home and it's got to be now. So home I went, and I walk in the house, and it was that standing at that turning point. It was grow or go. And I looked at him and I said, I've been getting loaded. I've been getting loaded. And I called my sponsor, and it just stopped him in his tracks. He had no idea because I wasn't nodding out. I was getting well. So nobody knew. It was my dirty little secret. And got into action, and I went to La Ventana. And I went to La Ventana, and her late husband took me there. And I remember picked me up at 5 in the morning. I got well before I don't know how God forbid I got to wait once I get here.
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I said, I don't think I can do this. I really don't think I can do this. And he said, kid, I know you can do this because I did it, because he had 19 and went out.
Yeah.
And I got here, and I've never had a more loving, caring staff, and a more incredible. And trust me, I'm the alumni of many detoxes, from American to Tarzana to Cry Help to county jail multiple times. It's as good as it gets at La Ventana, and that's just my experience.
Because I always like to say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Right? When you're ready, honestly, like, you could pretty much go anywhere and you're going to get what you need. But I'm glad that was the experience with La Ventana.
It was my experience with La Ventana.
But it was you.
Yeah, it was me.
You're the light.
I could do like a Michelin guide to detoxes. You know what I mean? And Tarzana, any of them will work. Do you know that?
Yeah.
If you are willing, you're right. It doesn't matter where you go to treatment. It doesn't matter. A lot of my friends never went to treatment. They just walked into a meeting. That's not the kind of addict that I am. Not the kind of dope fiend. I needed to be apart from and away from. And had I not been able to stay clean when I left La Ventana, I would have absolutely gone to treatment. I knew that. People say, you have to have a new experience in the program, and for me, I had to have an experience because Gwen, I never really had a spiritual connection before. And if you've never had one, you don't really know what it feels like. So I didn't really know what I was missing, but I knew that third step for me, that giving yourself, letting God or whatever your higher power is, take control, I knew that I never, ever really internalized that. Do you know what I'm saying? I believed that I was insane, but to make a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of God or a higher power, I couldn't do that because I'm so attached to the outcome. I need to know what the fuck is going to happen. I'd like to know when it's going to happen, and so I just never had any faith.
Well, I honestly, I think you did because, every time that you got clean, you turned your will and your life over to the care of something, whatever it was. But I think we as addicts tend to have that forgetting disease,
that forgetting,
right? Where we forget.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I got this.
I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
And in the big book, there's a story about the jaywalker who first he gets hit by a car, or first he gets he gets hit by a car. The next time he gets run over by a car. The next time, I was a jaywalker. Countless vain attempts to prove that I could use and drink like other people.
Yeah.
I was under no illusion that I am the real deal. I am not. I didn't drop my fucking wine glass on a tennis court and hit a bottom. I'm low bottom. I may not look like it, but I'm a Sepulveda Boulevard, 5th and San Julian, crack smoking, dope shooting woman who did the things that women have to do to get loaded.
Yes.
That's who I am.
Yes.
And I'm a sociopath. When I'm in my disease, I will lie right to your face. I will look at you and I will lie.
And believe the lies,
and believe the
that
lies.
Was me. Yep.
And believe them. And and I don't look like my story, which is a direct result of this program. And I can tell you that I carry a message into county jail now. It took me a long time to get cleared. They didn't clear me in 2008, and I was really resentful. Like, don't they know how much I have to offer these people? But, I hadn't been off paper long enough. And when I go in there and I see these women look at me and I say, what you see here, I'm you. I don't feel better than them. People say, don't you feel great because you can walk out and they can't? And that's not my experience. No, I feel like I was them and they are me. And the only difference is that I had to surrender to this program. Don Theodore used to say, and he was a mentor of mine.
Me too.
I was telling my friend last night,
Yes.
the guy was a fucking asshole, but he wasn't an asshole to me.
Right.
He was really good to me.
Yes.
And that's maybe unfair of me to say that about Don, but like
No.
he
No,
definitely,
he was an asshole.
He was an asshole. like my, she had a lot of experience with him when she was direct manager of that Detox, but he wasn't like that with me.
Yeah.
And he said, Laurie, you gotta surrender to this thing in its entirety. You can't do it. You can't pick and choose. You just gotta take some direction, and then not use between meetings. There's a kicker.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a Dawn. So I have a story about Dawn. It was actually one of my first third steps, right?
Yeah.
I was brand new in treatment, and this was back when neurofeedback was still experimental. It was Bill Scott. He kind of was the pioneer of neurofeedback.
Oh yeah, the biofeedback.
Yes. So I was an experiment. I was one of the first people in the trial of neurofeedback, and I did it like 3 times a week, and Don Theodore was running it. And Don Theodore, I love this history stuff because people,
I do too. Yeah, I do too. I did bio with him.
Don was on interferon for Hep C.
Oh, remember that? God, he was sick from that shit.
And he was so sick.
So
and he would
sick.
come in hunchback, sweating, so sick.
So
He'd be all,
sick.
oh, right?
know,
And I would
I know.
sit in a fucking chair, and I would let him put these fucking whatever the hell, they could have been electrodes for all I
Yeah,
knew.
exactly.
I was just like, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do, because I don't want to live that way anymore. Like,
Yes.
whatever you tell me to do. And so I'd sit in that chair, and I'd let him put these things on my brain.
Yeah, me too.
And I didn't know what was happening, and I did that treatment 3 times a week. It could have been a fucking lobotomy for all I knew.
We don't know. Who knows?
But let me tell you, that asshole, and I'd be in session, and I'd be like this, and I remember I used to fall asleep, and he'd go, don't fall asleep, or you can't do it anymore, so I'd start staying awake. Right?
I can hear him saying that. And he wasn't nice either.
No.
It was like, please don't fall asleep.
But here, I would come out of, like, it was almost like and during that time, I processed trauma on almost a subliminal level.
Yeah.
Because you're in this state, right?
Yeah.
And I'd come out of some of those sessions, I'd wake up sobbing.
Yeah.
Right? And Don would be there. And he would just tell me, like, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. And I felt safe. But that was when I knew I had turned my life and my will over the care of something. Something. And I was all in.
You were all in.
But he would always be there, just tell me it's okay,
Just
and you're
tell me.
safe.
He had that side to him. And if he liked you,
Yes.
and he always liked me. And I remember he gave me this is when he used to burn CDs, like give people, that I don't even have a CD player. But he would give me meditation music. And when I would go to Warriors a Friday night,
Yes.
and he was still alive, I mean, he was getting sicker and sicker, as you know.
Yeah.
But I would always go sit by him.
Yeah.
And, he cared a great deal. And his deal was service, love and service.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember? This is unfucking believable. You remember the old Glendale Memorial meeting?
Yes, I do.
That was the NA meeting, the BDC meeting, the big dog and pony show.
Yes.
I remember Don Theodore speaking. He had hair, gorgeous hair. The guy was fine as wine in the fucking summertime.
Was.
Hair down to his waist, and he'd get up there and he'd say, "Hi, fans."
Yes.
And he did it because it bothered people. It fucking just bothered people. And he'd talk about, the Three Little Pigs story, and that there's people that they're going to be in the stands. And I remember him saying this, and it really resonated with me, because I can get caught up in personalities and put personalities before the principles. Not anymore, because I have my tribe. I have some really core women in my life that that tell me the truth. They love me enough to tell me the truth. But there was a time when the judgment train would get rolling, and I'm sure the judgment train was rolling in regards to me, and he said, there are people in the stands, some of them are going to be thumbs up, and some of them are going to be thumbs down. And you just have to be authentic. And he was authentic.
And he said, stay in the middle.
Stay in the middle. Get in.
And fill that
fill
fucking car up with
that
newcomers.
Was his thing.
Yes.
He said, if you got a car, you better fill it up with newcomers.
Yes.
He always brought, he came to my home group,
Yes.
which ended up eventually being this book study, AA book study. He and
Oh, yeah.
we used to call him Mini-Me because he was like
totally.
a mini Don. like built with with his little leather vest on, and he with a couple of new guys.
Always. Yeah.
You want to keep that car, fill it up with new guys.
Absolutely. That's right.
And you know what I loved about Don is that he always went to some AA meetings. Because AA, NA, CA, it all keeps me away from the fucking DA.
That's right.
And I never denigrate another program. Whatever saves your, I loathe that. Don't ever do that. I don't know what's going to work. I have a friend that CMA works really well. In the gay community, that was his thing.
Yes.
Those are his people. I'm the co-secretary of a gay meeting. I am strictly dickly. I am really letting it all hang out.
Do it.
And,
yes, not too far. Go further.
Go. And you know what? It's about 3/4 gay, 1/4 straight. And I'm co-secretary because everybody's got a right to recover. Everybody's got a right to be comfortable where they recover. And I carry a panel. When I have a monthly panel, they have this new thing since you and I were around where they have a panel with all of residential at Cry Help. So there's like 80 people in there.
Yeah.
So I go in on Saturdays
Wow.
I do not follow one fucking H&I rule.
Nice.
You want to talk about a rule breaker. I don't do any readings. They can hear the readings at a meeting. These aren't detox people that don't get to go to meetings. Right. I'm not going to waste 10 minutes with how it works and the 12 traditions. And I go right in and I tell the people, I choose people very carefully, curate people. You're going to get hit up in the next month or so for that panel that I don't want high bottom coming. Do you know what? And it's really that H&I would tell me that's bullshit, Laurie. That but I said
Old
these people
school,
need to relate down. So I said get as down and dirty as you want. Don't clean it up. This isn't Pacific Group here. We're talking. This isn't the Summit in Malibu.
Right.
This is Cry Help.
Yes.
And I let them talk about anything, drugs, alcohol, you name it. You know.
Yes.
And. Yeah, I really feel strongly.
Let's talk about the fucking scar tissue on
I
my
look
fucking
like
ass cheek.
I look like I stepped on a landmine in Vietnam.
Right.
I do.
Same.
From abscesses that I had surgery.
Same. Yeah.
That's the kind of addict I am.
Yes. We know you loved La Ventana, and we fucking love you. Specific therapies, groups, or staff members that made an impact.
I do want to say this.
What do you want to say?
You said something which resonates, which I think is true from the standpoint that it wouldn't matter whether I was at La Ventana or, God forbid, American Hospital again.
Right.
But I don't know that that is true because when I came in here, I had fallen down that scale so far, no matter how far down the scale we have gone, and I was pretty far down, and I didn't know whether I was going to make it back here. My friends, it isn't that they judged me, it's that you know what? They had to take a little step back because I'd been lying to them, you know, and it took people a little while, and it was the best thing that could have happened. But I don't know if I didn't get the kind of love. I think it's a perfect storm. I'd have to be willing, and I needed to do it. For the first time was tough with me, my sponsor. Yeah. She was not a work the steps or die motherfucker. That's not her style. Yeah. But she said, you know, Laurie, I'll stick with you, but if it happens again. And so I knew she was serious, but I do believe that feeling that love and kindness from the staff here, from you and and other people that it's people that I can't remember because I was so fucked up on detox meds, but I think it makes a huge difference in my experience. Yes. It does. Yeah. So it's a perfect storm. Willingness and feeling like that support.
I think it's a combination really my theory is, it's the, when I'm looking to hire somebody, I go, kindness. Yeah. And then requirements. It's kindness. And then some technical knowledge. Yeah. And then some personal and some professional experience. But it's kindness. We need love. To me, detox reminds me a lot of hospice.
Yeah.
When people are in
Yes.
hospice, people are scared. They don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do.
They're like, it's the same with detox. When you're just at your fucking breaking point,
Yeah.
on your deathbed.
You're not on a winning streak when
Right.
you're in detox.
Right.
This is not
We're at our
the
worst.
lowest
Right.
point of your life.
And that's when you need the love the most.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I personally like to treat everybody like they're a fucking rock star, somebody very special, and you just don't know it yet because we all are.
Yes.
And unless you can see that in somebody, you don't allow them to be that.
We are
right?
all God's children.
Absolutely. Even
Yeah.
when we're at our lowest. I remember we had a guy one time. We actually ended up calling him bed bug boner dude, but that's another story. Right? Because what happened was he was in a shelter or something, and there was bed bugs there.
Yeah.
And so we said, we're going to bring him in, but this is how we're going to do it. He cannot bring any property. He can come only in his clothes. He's got to put his ID in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
We had some clothes waiting for him in the garage.
Yeah.
So we had him go in the garage, come in, shower,
Yeah.
and then put the fresh clothes on.
Yeah.
And then what ended up happening was he had a reaction to trazodone where he had a fucking boner that wouldn't quit.
Oh my God. Oh my
the worst.
God.
It's very rare, but it happens. We had to send him to the hospital, and it was really
oh my
awful.
God, this is a great bed bug boner guy. That's the greatest. Jesus.
So he ended up being bed bug boner
You
dude.
had to send him to the emergency room for a boner?
It wouldn't stop and it hurt. It's really a thing. It's like a side effect that doesn't happen often. You can look it up. It's bad. But the point is like when you're at your fucking worst.
Yeah.
Bed bugs in a fucking shelter. Okay, well, we're going
Yeah.
to figure out, and we're going to bring you in like a human, and we're going to treat you like a human and love you like your family would, right? So that you can learn to love yourself again.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what we need.
Do you know how well respected you are, Gwen, as in detox? Do you have any idea? I talk to a lot of people.
No.
You're kind.
Well,
You're kind, and you care.
Yeah.
You are such an empath. You're one of the biggest empaths I know.
It takes
Maybe
one
you
to know
feel
one.
too much.
It takes one to know one.
Maybe you
Yeah.
feel too much sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Do you take it home with you? I'm interviewing you.
Okay, so I'll tell you, I have to take it home with me, right? Because I literally have people's lives in my hands.
Yeah.
24/7. So I don't care if the phone rings at 2 a.m. I wake up and I go like this, hold on one sec. And I wake up and then I go, okay, what's going on, right? But there's a place that I have on my drive home, like when it's a lot of heavy.
Yeah.
There's a place I drive up this hill, it's herbs, and I get to the top of the hill, and then
Yes.
you can look over and you see the mountains.
Yes.
And that's the place where I go and I specifically, intentionally, I go, okay, cool, here is where I'm going to leave what I can, right? So I don't take it home with me. What I can leave, I'll leave here in the mountains in the universe. And I try to just release what I can, right? Because I don't get to let everything go.
No, you don't.
But there's a place where I go and I go, okay, here's what I'm going to leave what I can here.
Can you go on vacation and truly on vacation, really or not really? You're always going to, because there's clients here.
They're people.
Yeah,
They're people's
they're people,
lives.
they're humans.
Yes,
Human
100%.
beings.
You don't
And
get
this
to
is
go,
what you get with this model, right?
Right, but we have some, like I have some people that I trust.
Yes.
So if I trust them with my life, I'm going to trust them with other people's
see,
lives.
you could, yes,
But I'm also on call to them.
yes.
And I can't help it.
You
know what I
can't.
mean?
It's
If I
who
see
you
I'm going to go,
are.
what about? Let's make sure.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
when my brother was a pediatrician. You're never not on. You're never, even if somebody else is on call. You're
Yeah.
never not on call.
Yeah.
Somebody's kid gets sick.
It's people's lives.
It's people's lives.
Yeah. I take that very seriously.
And that's why you are who you are. And that just makes you so special.
Back to you.
Back to me. You like the way? Do you like that?
I love
God,
you.
I you know what? I missed my fucking calling. I need to be on MSNBC with,
Totally.
with Rachel Maddow. You know
Totally.
what? If I'm not gay, but if I were gay, I wanted to jump the fence. Rachel Maddow is my gal. I fucking love her. I hope she hears this. I love her. I love me some Rachel. We're not going to get political in this thing because I can get political.
I'm not gay, but if I was, no
If
politics.
I'm not going to.
I'm not gay,
if I
but if
did,
I was.
If I was. I may or may not have ever done anything, but right here, I'm with a man.
I'm going to quote you again as a Strictly Dickly.
Strictly
I hadn't
Dickly.
heard that since 1902.
I
That's
know,
hilarious.
Strictly Dickly. Gay for the stay, baby. Gay for the stay.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Exactly. I do what I got to do.
I did a lot of time. I'm just saying.
For the commissary.
I did a lot of time in Sybil Brand for
So did
many,
I.
many years.
Sybil
Yes.
Brand
Sybil was my home away from home.
Yeah, we're old school.
Oh, I love it.
When people hear me say that, I
don't
said,
know.
I'm an OG. I said,
Yeah.
you have no idea what 3,000 was like at Sybil Brand.
What was 3,000 or 3,500? Which was the kitchen dorm? I think it was 35.
35.
Uh-huh.
I went to the honor dorm and got caught stealing ODR coffee, which is our officer's day room.
Yes.
And they sent me from there to 3,000. And there was that woman that killed all her husband. She was famous. And she's in the bunk. I'm thinking, where the fuck have I ended up? And this is a great story. So this is my first time catching. When I caught, this was a whopper of a case. I wrote a lot of checks with unclosed accounts, and that's a felony. It's crimes of moral turpitude, which I think kind of sounds hot, but it isn't. So I'm fighting a case. They take me into reception my first time at SBI at Sybil Brand.
Yes.
And I walk in there, swear to fucking God I did this. And there's a deputy, really pretty deputy. And I said, I swear I did this. I tapped her on the shoulder. First of all, don't ever touch a deputy.
Don't touch a fucking cop.
I said, excuse me. She said, I said, you know what? I don't think I'm jail material. I fucking said this to her. It's part of my story.
Yes.
And she looked at me and she said, well, guess what? You are now. And I thought, holy fuck. So they checked me into my dorm because their dorms, Gwen understands this. It isn't pods. There are no fucking pods.
No.
It's these dorms with a ton of women. And you could smoke. Oh, it was a thing. And I get in there and I go and I put my $20 bill on the bed. And I went to the bathroom. Back when you could have money. Yeah, when you had money.
Yes.
Wet 20. You remember Wet 40?
Yeah.
And this woman who really took pity on me, because of course the 20 was gone when I got back. And she said, oh, honey, you can't do that. You need to keep your shoes on here. They'll steal your shit, especially you. Because you know what? Being a little white girl at Sybil Brand, you know, I was a minority there and naive as hell. And I thought, boy, I'm not in Kansas anymore.
Yeah. My first trip to Sybil Brand, I found the biggest, blackest, meanest looking girl that I could find and started a fight. That's what I was told to do. That's what I was told to do. You know what I mean?
Oh, are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding.
Happened?
I'm in a Sally Port. I got my ass fucking whipped. Are you kidding me? What the fuck you think happened? But I learned real quick. You know, I had to learn, you know?
Yep. I was in there when OJ was racing down the freeway in his white Bronco. And I was in there during the 94 earthquake.
Wow.
And we all fell off our beds.
Was I? Yeah, I might have been there during the 94 earthquake. Yeah, they all split. All the guards split.
Yeah, I fell off my bed. Yeah. They didn't give a shit about us.
No, they didn't care. They were gone.
Remember how nasty that place was? There were mice and it was fucking disgusting.
It was awful, yeah. But it was home away from home.
It was home, yeah.
And it was always a break. It was always a relief. Like I'd go in there and I'd kick.
Yeah.
I knew what to do. I'd get working in the kitchen. You know what I mean? You had your homies. You got your little job or whatever.
You got your job.
Yeah. And you got a little break. You didn't
have
to hustle.
Break.
Well,
it was a rescue, not an arrest.
Yes.
Yeah. I did a year flat, no early kick, because my points were high. And I'd watch all these fucking women getting let out, and I'm not getting let out, you know? And because I would have been better off going to the pen. I said, I have no desire to meet large margin.
That was actually a step up when I started going to prison. I mean, as crazy as that sounds,
I know it is.
Yeah. Can't wait to catch the
chain. The food was better.
Oh, so everything was better in prison.
But you know what I said? The food's better out there. I had no desire to go to Chowchilla because they weren't sending you to CIW. They're sending everybody to Chowchilla.
Yeah, everything was.
We
better
don't
in
live
prison.
like that.
No, we don't have to live like that anymore. I haven't been to prison since 1997. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, 12-Step Fellowship.
Yes.
Thank you, people like Laurie Sigelman, who fucking was a mentor to me and paved the way. What does your support system look like now?
My support system is the biggest tool that I have is a telephone. Because if I don't tell you what's going on, you can't help me. And that sounds like a silly statement, doesn't it? But see, I had secrets because my problem always was the 8th deadly sin for me, which is looking good. I don't want you to know. I got 10 years. I am fucked up. This is before the relapse. I am restless. I'm in A, restless, irritable, and discontent. In other words, and I hate you and your mother for having you. I'm sick of those people. I'm sick of those meetings. And really all this is I'm not okay with Laurie. So it's easier for me to turn that anger. It's really fear turned outwards. That's what anger is for me. But see, I wasn't going to tell you that I was unhappy and miserable and insecure. I wasn't, because I had time. Don't you know? And in NA, 10 years it's a significant amount of time. A lot of AMs and PMs, it's I would say, without using or I know.
Yes.
And he's another person who's been there no matter what.
Yeah.
He's a sick motherfucker in some ways, but I love him, I guess. But I'm breaking people's anonymity left and right.
I like it.
God, but people.
We can always just beep the name if we have to.
Yeah, you can beep the name, yeah, because I suck. No. Plus, I just fucking slandered Don Theodore. Who else could I rake through the coals?
Oh, I got some for you.
We got some. I do too. But what I had to do is I have women in my life that care enough about me to tell me the truth. Because if I ask enough of my friends. It used to be that somebody's going to tell me what I want to hear.
Yeah.
But secrets made me sick.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody that I wasn't happy, that I didn't fit into this little social sewing circle of women that I was trying desperately. And you know what? They weren't even my type. They're not my people. But I wanted so desperately to fit in. And that was my core childhood issue, is that I went to kindergarten when I was 4. The children were extremely cruel. There was no bullying in those days. And I wet my pants every day. And, and those are old ideas, but those ideas, that's my core. Those are my issues. And I can do all the fucking writing and all the inventory I want on that. But I ended up going to who's a great therapist. I went to him a few years ago because I needed to go deeper with that stuff. Yeah. But what my support system looks like is I've got I was on the phone with one when I pulled up. I've got 4 women.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I'm incredibly close to we're really close.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, she's not in the program anymore.
Okay.
She was my caseworker at Cry Help.
Yeah.
You can fucking vape weed all the live long day. I don't give a fuck about some weed.
Totally.
She doesn't vape weed all day either. But you know what?
To each his own.
You know what? Yeah. She's been an amazing friend. And we're going to Neil Diamond tomorrow night.
Oh,
like
wow.
two old broads.
Nice.
Yeah.
Give her my
and
love.
so I talk to her every day. I talk to my friend. I have a few people. I let them know what's going on.
And you can trust them with
I can trust them.
Yeah.
And they trust me because you know what? I have to be trustworthy. I'm 50% of any relationship I'm in.
Right.
And you know what? This entire program for me is about relationships.
So,
it's a relationship with God, with the program, with my friends. That's it.
Right. But so like you were saying, when you got lost in service, so it's possible for you to be like 100% of a relationship, right?
Yeah.
So where somebody can come to you, but you have to have somebody you trust, that you can trust, and it's reciprocal, right? Places that you can go when you need to, whatever it is, and you have somebody that's going to be there for you as well.
And how about this? How about knowing your worth? And I have had, it doesn't mean that I cut people off like a loose thread, like we used to use that expression. She's doing very well, by the way, that little lawyer.
Yeah.
5 prison terms, and she's a high-powered attorney because it can be done. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't do that anymore. But you know what? Some people, I need to love them from a distance.
Absolutely.
Used to say, send them a blast of love. This is when I first got back this time. People that I didn't care for. I said, can I blast them away? She said, no, Laurie. You send them a blast of love. And you need to pray for them. I said, can I pray that they get what they deserve? She said, no, Laurie. You have to pray that they get what you want for yourself.
Right.
And this just happened recently. I don't think she didn't go through treatment, but we were talking about a mutual friend of ours, and I love the girl. She doesn't live here; she lives in Europe now, but she's visiting. But I need to love her from a distance because there's a selfish, self-centeredness to her condition, and it's never. It's not. I don't. it's not her fault. I don't know if she's a narcissist. I don't know. I don't want to diagnose her, but I don't want to put that kind of energy into that friendship.
Right.
So that's also self-care and self-esteem.
Yes.
Because that people-pleasing for me, I didn't realize it was a character defect. Yeah. You know, you're doing this for somebody because you want something, whether it's their love, their approval, their friendship, whatever it is. And to know your worth. I'm sure people come into our lives, Gwen, for different reasons in different seasons. Yeah. And not everybody's going to be here to stay. And it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some toxic motherfuckers.
Yes.
And there's some sick people in this program and out of this program. But there's some wonderful people. So I try to focus on that. So that's
And you're
my
one of
support
them.
system. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What advice would you give to someone who's currently in detox or who's feeling hopeless? Like, what would you?
Okay, I give this advice to everybody. I have two panels, and I give this advice all the time. And again, H and I would probably take my panels away. They would. They probably would. First of all, I mean, you know, this is an AA panel. I said, for God's sakes, if you have a fucking chance to go to treatment, are you out of your fucking mind? I don't care about your dog, your cat, your kids, your this. You haven't been there for the last, I get emotional. You haven't been there for fucking years for these people, these animals, your children. Give yourself that opportunity. Give yourself a break.
Yes.
If you have that opportunity, if you don't and if you can't, what you need to get to a meeting. You need to have that set up. We have 3,000 meetings in Los Angeles every week. Morning, noon, and night. And you can get on Zoom and you can go 24 hours a day. But I would, the people that feel hopeless, it's so beautiful that we have a 24-hour-a-day program. It's hard for us. It's hard for us to not. I am always future tripping. That was what I was talking about, where I'm attached to the outcome. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen with whatever it is, my tax return, whatever it is I'm tripping about at 2 in the morning. It's always at 2 or 3 in the morning. I run this shit through my head.
Yes.
I haven't had a pap smear. Maybe I have cancer. You know, like this is all going on, you know. But what you have to do is, you can't do this in detox. You can't get grounded.
Right.
That's the other thing. I don't talk about steps with these people when they're in a detox center. They don't fucking care. They want to know, how do I put some time together?
Yes.
And I always bring people with about 6 months or a year, because me with 11 years, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
You got 6 months, how'd you do it?
Yes.
You got 3 months, how'd you do it?
Right. Yes, they can relate to that. Yes.
Yeah.
11 years.
You
you're
got on a
liar. You gotta
detox
be lying.
6 months ago. You don't have 11. Yeah. To them, it sounds ridiculous. And then I look like some kind of middle-aged Jewish housewife, so they don't fucking buy that shit for a second. You know, I said, this just is window dressing. Trust me. I'll pull my pants down if you want to see my scars. I will do so.
Yes.
So I would tell people to go to. I really try to tell people to do that. I know treatment's not NA. Treatment's not AA.
Yeah, but it's a start.
It's a start,
Yeah,
and you
it's a
get apart
separation.
from it,
Yeah.
a separation, and away from, and you will never have time as an adult to just sit and work on yourself. I got to get out of here. I got to get back to my kids. I hear it all the time.
Yeah, it's always something. Well, how do you think people can best support their loved ones during or after detox, like during and after? How do you think people can best support their loved ones?
You want me? Really,
I know.
I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
I
tell
really
me the
believe
fucking
it.
truth.
You know what?
Only the
it's a
fucking
family
truth.
fucking disease.
Yeah.
Get to a goddamn Narcan or Al-Anon meeting.
Yes.
And you know what? Because you can't, you didn't cause it, you can't change it, and you can't control it. And it's, you know, let me tell you how full of shit I am right now. I am the worst untreated Al-Anon. You know?
Wait, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I feel attacked.
I'm like, I can't believe this shit is coming out of my mouth. Because you know what? It's really hard for me to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
But if they don't ask you your advice, you're not as a double winner. Although she's fucking shitty at it too, and I would tell her that if she were. She is so untreated in the area of her own family.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Yeah.
But it's hard to practice that at home.
Yes.
It is hard. It's much tougher. But didn't monitor. He's got 23 years, and he didn't monitor my meetings. He said, I'm going to get some UA. I said, get some tests. He never tested me. But you got to stay out of their business. You got to do the best you can.
Yes.
And the thing is, it's like, you remember.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ. So her
She's doing well, isn't she?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I
Hope
think
so.
she's like a wet brain. I don't think she's doing that well.
I hope so.
Okay, I hope she's doing okay. But her husband, who did my hair, and for years after I didn't sponsor her anymore, his attitude was, I don't want to talk about it. It's not my problem.
Right.
It's her problem. Look
Right.
at all the problems they caused all these years. And the best way they can support them is get some family education with the disease.
Yeah.
I remember somebody saying to me, I said this to an old sponsor, do you know on the west side?
Yeah.
I loved her.
Yeah.
So I remember first thing said to me is, I said, this is years ago when I got out of Impact. I said, I'm depressed. And she said to me, she's an Italian, old school New Yorker. She said, Laurie, of course you're fucking depressed. Your life is in the toilet. You're supposed to be depressed. But I remember saying, my family doesn't understand my disease. I did. I said this to her. And she said, it's not your family's fucking responsibility to
Right.
understand your disease.
Right.
It's a big part of my story. I say it, and it's not with any victim mentality. I was never the daughter my mother deserved. Never. But what can I do now? I can make a living amends. I have an 84-year-old sponsor who is the light of my life.
Yeah.
And I am of service to older people. And that's where I can affect any change.
Yes.
Or amend, because really to make an amend means change. It's changing your behavior. It's sorry, I was the sorriest motherfucker on the planet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do so you won't do it again?
Exactly.
That's what I have to say.
Living amends all day, every day,
All
baby.
day, every day.
All day,
I
every fucking day.
I don't think you have to make many.
Me?
No.
I'm paying eternal penance. All day, every fucking day. And, for me, the steps don't end, Laurie. Like,
I
my
know.
defects, it's every fucking day.
The defects, aren't
Turning
they
it
a
over,
bitch? Yeah.
that happens 3 or 4 times a day if I'm lucky. Go, oh, yeah, I'm holding this again. Let me just, oh, yeah, higher
don't see
power.
you.
Oh, yeah, you. It's not all me.
I don't see you having a lot of defects, though.
All the time. Anything.
I really
For me,
don't.
it's any kind of, like right now what I'm really working on is venting, right?
Yeah.
Like when you vent, sure, it can be cathartic and it can be like an unload, but
Yeah.
it can also be, you're wiring your brain in a certain
Yes.
way to perpetuate negativity.
Oh my God, over and over.
Right. So there's always, anytime I'm not happy, right, I feel like there's a defect in there somewhere. Anytime I'm frustrated, which I spend a lot of time being, right, the weight of
When
the
I
world
am
is fucking
disturbed,
crushing.
when I'm disturbed, yeah.
Yes. So for me, it's all the time. Like the steps, I didn't work the steps. I'm forever working
I think
the
I'm going to
steps.
work on the venting because I'll do it in my car. And resentment, I am very resentful by nature. And so I do a lot of inventory of 10 steps. Column, who am I resentful? Where have I been what did they do? Where have I been selfish, self-centered, dishonest, and frightened? It's always the same thing. I'm not getting what I want. You're not doing it my way. And you've hurt my feelers. But what happens is when I resent, I relive it over and over. So I get in my car, my teeth are clenched. You know this one? I am resentful. And I'm like venting, talking to nobody, like just going over and over until I've worked myself.
Yeah.
I have built a case.
Sometimes it can be healthy, but sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like if you're actually releasing it and you can let it go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But sometimes I'm just reaffirming and like justifying the feelings and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's something I'm going to do it. I'm doing it.
So I'm working the steps forever. Like
Yes.
I didn't work the steps.
It doesn't end.
Yeah, it doesn't end. Yeah.
I love when people say, I did it. I said, okay, well, what are you doing now?
Yeah, exactly.
10,
You're
11,
done.
and 12, baby.
It's the journey, not the destination.
Yep.
Is there what's a favorite part of your recovery, like that you like to talk about? How about a fucking low and a high?
A low and a high. You mean the lowest low?
Sure, give me a low and a high. Or just any of the lows. I mean, there's fucking
There are so
thousands
many
of them.
for me. There really were. I mean, I had a really low bottom. I was in my ex-husband, well, he was my husband at the time. He got endocarditis twice in 1 year. It was medically unheard of to
God,
get
I haven't
that.
even heard that word in a million years. Go on, yes.
And so he got it's
endocarditis.
from
Yeah.
shooting dirty dope.
Yeah.
And so and we're married, and I muscled my dope a lot of the time. So I
Same.
have blood and I have this huge sores on my buttock,
Yep.
and I end up in the emergency room. And they had to perform surgery, pretty major surgery. I used to have a pretty nice ass, and I don't anymore. And they let us stay in the same hospital room. Me with surgery on my abscess.
Is there a PIC line in here somewhere?
What?
Is there a PIC line in here somewhere?
Yeah, there's a PIC line.
Okay.
He's got a central line.
Yep.
He's got endocarditis, no veins, and so he's got a central line.
Yeah.
And so I got out before he did, and then I would drive back in a 1981 Toyota Cressida that you had to stop and put water in to the valley, pick up heroin, go back to the every day, and shoot dope right into a central line.
Right.
That's it. That's how down and dirty. That's disgusting.
See, to me, that was just another Thursday when I was using.
Yeah.
Right. I knew the PIC line was coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Been there,
Yeah.
done that. Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's just another Thursday. To other people, it might be, oh
Why
my
not
God.
right into this? He's in there for dirty, filthy heroin.
Right.
That's how you
Right.
get the infection
Yeah.
in your heart valves.
Yeah.
And the protocol is 30 days of in-hospital antibiotics. So he was in there a total of 2 months.
Wow.
He got it again. And he died as a direct result of this disease eventually.
Yeah.
And he was a burden to his family because that's what we do. We do. This disease does not give a fuck. So that was my low.
Well, that was one low. I always like to say, like, rock bottom had a basement, and it had another
Yeah, it had a
basement,
basement,
and another
another
fucking
basement.
basement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, man, those tunnels. Holy shit, there's a tunnel leads to another fucking
Yeah.
basement. Just when I thought I had fucking been, done the worst, there was a fucking new low,
I treated people horribly. The more you love me, the more I was sure
Exactly.
to just rip your heart out. You know?
So tell me about a high in recovery. Any joy, beauty? What's the best of
You know
life?
what? In recovery, there was nothing like driving to Linwood for the first time and walking into that jail. And I had never had a real spiritual experience. I didn't see burning bushes people talk about. And I left there. It was a fucking horrible drive there and a lot of traffic. And I have never felt that good. And for the first time, I could see that line out of the big book. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we can see how our experience can benefit others.
Yes.
My lowest points can give somebody hope. How fucking awesome is that?
Yes.
All of those people in there today, in these day and age, 90% are in there as a direct or indirect result of drugs and alcohol. There are very few career criminals. Most of them are in there. They're just me. They're just you. That was a true recovery high. But I love my dog. I love the animals and the life that I have built today.
Yes.
And I don't have to look over my shoulder. I don't have to take my money out of the bank because I'm going to get it attached because I haven't taken care of business with the IRS. Like, I don't have to live like that anymore. That's the way I used to live, even clean and so even when I was clean. And I had to clean up the wreckage of my past. I had to pay the high cost of low living, baby. And doesn't mean I'm a horrible person. It means that I'm a I'm the real deal. There are people that aren't. Never went to jail, never did any time, owned a home. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't fucking get it.
Me too. Yeah, I often share when I'm sharing in meetings, I try to say, so if you haven't gone to prison yet, and you haven't shot dope, and you haven't, right?
Yeah.
You still belong here.
Yeah,
like
you
if
still
your worst
belong
problem
here.
is just smoking weed and your parents got mad at you, like you deserve to be here.
Because it's that inside. It's the emotional bottom.
Yes.
And I never want to negate that either.
Right.
But I do relate with the down and dirties.
Yeah, because everybody's not
Everybody's
hardcore,
not
old school
hardcore.
like us.
Yeah. All my girlfriends think it's so cute that their friend is a jailbird. Like they come to me with any jail custody questions.
I love
you know,
it.
and I'm like, yeah, I own it.
So let me ask you one more, like really honestly, what would you say to somebody that's sitting here like can't get a day clean or doesn't or is trying and just fucking really just what would you say to them right now? Like
Tell you what I would
yeah.
not say. I think we pay people a great disservice. I actually heard this from an old timer in NA. It was this woman. She was the first speaker I ever related to. I went to the Real Deal at Fountain in Fairfax, and she had like 30 years at that time, and I didn't think I belonged here. I looked around the room, and everybody had red and orange and purple hair, and it was night. I don't know. And she said, "I never tell people, why don't you go out and get finished?"
Right.
I fucking hate that. You know what? They may not get. I never say, "Hey, you know, if you're not done, you can befriend your misery." You hear people say it in both fellowships.
Right.
I never do that. I never say that. If they can't get a day clean, then I take their number. Yeah. Somebody that taught me this when I first got clean again this time, he said, "Don't give people your number, these newcomers. You get their number. They're not going to fucking call you, Laurie."
Right.
He's the one who took me through the book this time. I believe women work with women unless you're gay, and there are exceptions. I know like Don sponsored Marlene. There are many exceptions, but for me, I need a female sponsor.
Yeah.
But he said get their number. So I would say all I can do is let somebody know I care, and go to another meeting. Try. I don't know if somebody can't get a day clean. There's a woman that goes to meetings. I don't want to say this. I don't know if she's really a real alcoholic. She's straight alcohol. But when I tell you, I think she's come back maybe 30 or 40 times. And I mean, that many times, a lot. But she doesn't, I think she's like a problem drinker. I don't think it ever gets to the point. But if somebody is really down and dirty and can't get a day clean, I can't get you loaded and I can't get you clean.
Right.
You know, I can take your number, though, and I can call you. But you still have to, you said it in the beginning, you still have to pick up that, you still have to answer the phone. And when I'm getting loaded, I don't want to fucking talk to you.
Right.
I am not interested in talking to anybody from, you know. But all we can do is be an example.
Yes.
That's all I can do.
Yes.
Just be an example.
And you are a beautiful example,
Thank you,
Laurie, and I'm
darling.
so grateful for you.
I'm so grateful
And I'm
for
so
you.
grateful for people
What an
like
experience
you.
this is today. I would never in my wildest dreams. You know? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Kindness, surrender, unflinching honesty. These aren't just recovery buzzwords. They're the tools that rebuild lives. Huge thanks to Gwendolyn for showing us how compassion becomes action, and to Laurie for proving that no one's too far gone to come back. This is Beyond the Window, where we don't just talk about recovery, we strip it bare. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear. Me too. And remember, keep showing up. We'll see you next time.